Hello everyone, and welcome to my latest Beatles Vinyl update. Now before I get started with this update, I just want to tell you something, and that is that I am using a different camera to my old one because the iPad here is what I've used to record every Beatles video up until this point. However, it's finally died on me, which is a shame. So I've got this different camera here, and the quality isn't quite as good as the iPad, but I think it's good enough. So you'll just have to bear with me on this, okay? Well, anyway, that's that out of the way. I'll start talking about my finds for this update. So, the majority of these albums I've actually bought at Liverpool this year. I went to Liverpool and got some great stuff. And the rest of it is just things I've gotten in the last couple of weeks. And I've also got some Japanese albums which I've had for quite a while, but I never actually showed those in any of my previous videos, so I just thought I'd shove them in with this update. So I'll get started. Okay, so the first thing I have to show is a copy of Please Please Me. It's a stereo copy, and it's from 1969. And this has the small stereo on the cover, which is in nice condition. There's the back, Gowden Lofthouse sleeve. And here is the label. It's on the yellow and black Parlophone label, and this is the version without the sold in the UK text, and it's got the Gramophone Company Limited at the beginning of the perimeter text. And here is side 2. Next, I've got a copy of Something New, and this is a stereo copy, and it's on the green Target label. Here it is. Nice green Target label. And here's the other side. And here is another copy of Something New. However, this one's slightly different. As you can see, there's no kind of white bar across the top with like the ST catalogue number or anything. It's just a capital full dimensional stereo band. But the cover's the same in every other way. And this is on the purple capital label. And here's side 2. Yep, so just a purple capital press. Now I've got a copy of The Beatles Story, the double interview album. I played this through and it's in pretty good condition, I think. And what I really like about this particular copy is that it's got an original import sticker from, I believe, the mid-70s. Because when people from the UK imported the US albums, they would often get a sticker like that. And I think they look really cool, especially imported by EMI Records Limited. And this version is on the orange capital label. And of course, it was printed with sides 1 and 4 together. And also sides 2 and 3. It's quite an interesting interview album. My only real problem is you don't hear too much from the Beatles themselves. It's mostly just some guy telling you about them, which is it's just as interesting. But you know, I think sometimes it's nice just to hear them talk for a continued amount of time. But that's just me personally. Now this is the last of my Liverpool finds. However, it's probably my favourite. It's a stereo copy of Yesterday and Today. And this is actually a record club edition, and you can tell that because on the cover it has these 3 black stripes on the side, on the top. There's on the front cover as well, so it has those black stripes. And so, if you're a member of the Capitol Record Club, you could send away for this exclusive version of it. And this is on the green Target label. You probably won't be able to see on the camera, but it's a slightly lighter shade of green, I think, to the average Target label. One thing that's interesting about this Record Club edition is that the O in stereo kind of goes into the white circle, which it wouldn't normally do. Stereo would normally be over here somewhere. And if you look in the matrix, I think you can sort of see like three little lines, a bit like the lines on the cover. I believe these Record Club editions were made in a different factory to the regular presses. I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure I read that on a website once. But yeah, that's quite interesting. I was pleased to get a Record Club edition of an album. Right, so I've now got a stereo copy of Revolver, and unusually for an American version of Revolver, it just has the stereo designation printed straight on the cover, just like the UK version would. And again, it doesn't have the white banner across the top with ST, whatever the catalogue number is, and filed under the Beatles. But of course, on the back, it is the American 11-track version with the 3 tracks missing of it. And like the Something New that I showed earlier, this is on the purple Capitol label. There we are. Now this is quite an interesting piece. I actually only picked this up a couple of days ago. Now this is a foreign copy of Sgt. Pepper. It's from Spain, and it's a second pressing. On the back of the cover there, it says Estereofonico, so it's in stereo. And the back of the cover is mostly the same, except it says Odeon down there instead of Parlophone. And here's the Sgt. Pepper's insert that comes with it. It's on a nice thick cardboard, this insert. I believe the original pressings of this album in Spain did come with a version of the Fools in a sleeve, and from what I can see from Discogs, it's exactly the same as the Dutch first pressing Fool in a sleeves. And I do show one of those on my Sgt. Pepper's video, so if you want to see what the original inner sleeve for this one would look like, you can go and check that out. But anyway, here is the record. And this is on a very nice blue Odeon label. In fact, to be honest, one of the main reasons I got this album was just because of how amazing the label looked. But I've also played it through, and the sound quality, I would say, is near mint. I mean, it's got a few scuffs on it, but it plays beautifully. And here is side 2. I think the original pressings were on a red Odeon label rather than a blue one. But this is still very nice, I think. Alright, so my last 4 albums to show in this video are the Japanese albums I mentioned earlier. So the first of these is a copy of a collection of Beatles oldies. Now it doesn't have an Obi or anything. However, it's still very nice. And here is the back of the cover. As you can see there, it's in stereo, of course. And what I find interesting about the back of this cover is that the image on the back has been kind of flipped or mirrored from the UK issue, so it's kind of like facing the other way. I'm not really sure why that's been done, but oh well, fair enough. It's still got the But Goldies circle, if you like, down there. And if you look, there's the Japanese writing, made in Japan. And here is the vinyl itself. It's on the black Odeon label. And it's on a beautiful original dark red vinyl, which looks amazing and sounds even better. I mean, Japanese vinyl is superb. The sound quality is second to none. I think it's just amazing. the Japanese certainly knew what they were doing when it came to making vinyl. Next is a Japanese copy of Meet the Beatles from the Beatles Forever Japanese series. This has a nice green obi down the side. And what I like about this is that the Meet the Beatles title is in a totally different colour scheme to the US version. It's red on the Beatles, and I believe the Meet there is gold, although you can't really see it here, of course, because of the obi. But I believe that that's the case. And the back is all in Japanese. And it comes with a very nice lyric insert here for all the songs. The lyrics are all in English. There aren't any Japanese lyrics on here. The song titles are in Japanese as well, though. And here is the label. It's on Apple rather than capital or anything. Now, what I find very unusual is that despite the fact that it's Meet the Beatles, it's a completely different album, because it's got I Want to Hold Your Hand, She Loves You, From Me to You, Love Me Do, loads of other songs that weren't on Meet the Beatles. In fact, to be honest, I think there's only 3, maybe 4 songs on here that were on Meet the Beatles in America. So it's really just like a greatest hits compilation. But I mean, it's still fantastic, and of course, sounds fantastic. So I'm not going to complain about that. And the next one is a Japanese copy of Yesterday and Today. This is from, again, a different series. This is from like a numbered series. I'll be honest, I don't really know very much about these Japanese releases, because it's not really a corner of the Beatles vinyl catalogue that I've delved into very much, to be honest. I'm sure I will eventually do research on these when I start to collect them properly, but it's really been the UK and recently the American stuff I've been going for, so that's why I haven't really done too much in the way of collecting these. But they are beautiful, and I'm sure one day I will try and get more if I can. But anyway, let's get back to Yesterday and Today. So, here's the cover, which is quite interesting actually, because unlike the American version, it is a gatefold sleeve, which is very nice. Lots of Japanese writing on the inside, on the right, and on the left. It's got, on the back of the obi, a great advertisement for lots of other Beatles albums, both the UK catalogue and the American catalogue. You can see there, UK on the top, American on the bottom, which is very good. And there's the track listing on the left there. So I really like that gatefold sleeve. I think that's brilliant. This is number 23 in the series. And here is the lyric insert for this one. It's quite similar to the one that came with Meet the Beatles. However, it's got the song lyrics in both English and Japanese, so you can sing along in either of those languages. And here is the label, which is also an Apple label. And the final album I have to show for this update is a Japanese copy of Yellow Submarine, which is also on the Beatles Forever series. And this cover is styled on the US version of Yellow Submarine rather than the UK version, which you can tell because, like the US version, it has all the nice colourful pictures at the bottom, which in my opinion is a lot more interesting than the UK version. So that's really cool. And of course there's the nice obi in stereo too, of course. Another interesting thing is that it doesn't say "nothing is real" on the cover, which it would normally do for some reason. And here's the insert that comes with this album. Now, because only one side of Yellow Submarine has songs on it, we managed to fit everything onto one side of the insert. So there it is, All songs are in English, song lyrics, sorry. And here is the Yellow Submarine Apple label. And there's side 2. Alright, so that brings this video to an end. So I hope you enjoyed seeing all of these albums. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you all next time.